There is no kingfish season. We catch kingfish all day, every day of the year, and all year round. So if anyone thinks that there's a kingfish season, there isn't. There isn't. So, and we normally go out at the minimum of about 230 days a year, and out of that 230 days, we probably miss catching kingfish 3 times, and that's probably it for the year. Coming into springtime, which is a really good time, there was plenty of fish, plenty of boats, and it's only going to get better from now coming right up, and then we'll start around Christmas time. We'll start to catch we'll catch a lot of big fish, but we'll get a lot of smaller ones too. So you might catch 20 small ones, and then the next one's $1.20 m. And it's just, you get a bit complacent and you start fishing light tackle, and you're having fun with little fish. And then the next thing you know, you're hooked up to a steam train. And it's all fun, it's great.
And tell me your full name and a little bit about yourself.
Matthew Reid, grew up in Georges Hall in western suburbs of Sydney. Dad was a passionate fisherman. Every chance that he got, he'd take me out. We'd be either down the Georges River or we'd be in the Sydney Harbour chasing blackfish. And I'd be going, Dad, look at the kingfish, look at the kingfish. And he'd be going, don't worry about them. Let's just catch the blackfish. And I'd be throwing lures and slugs and everything trying to catch them, but they're always just out of reach. And then as I got older, it was just a passion. I was a carpenter for 22 years. And then I ended up with a sore back, like compressed discs in my back. And what happened is I thought, I need to have a life change. I need to be doing something different. From the time I was sort of 16, 17, I got my car license. I used to have a little tinny, and I'd come down, I'd be underneath the Spit Bridge of a night time catching squid, and then I'd be sneaking around the harbour early morning catching kingfish, chasing them. And then the boats got bigger, and then the distance got further. And then it was progressing out the heads and up to Longreef, and it took a long time. It took a long time to learn all the spots, learn the techniques, and then just now it just comes a second nature. Raptor, well, that actually comes from a boat that I bought off a mate, and it was a trail craft, 5.1, and it was called Raptor. And so for me to start up my first charter, I had to sell that boat to be able to afford my first boat, and I thought I loved the name Raptor, so that's what I thought, it's going to be Raptor Charters. Typical customer is a person that normally has their own boat, and it's the same as the client there before that rang up. They have their own boat, they've been out fishing, they've caught no fish, their wives are cranky because they never come home with any fish. So a lot of the time, 80% of the time, are people that come out, are people that own their own boat and they just want to learn.
Can you describe a day in the life of a fishing reel on your boat in the hands of your customer?
In the hands of my customer, well, they are treated pretty poorly. So a lot of the time, the techniques that you see on the TV and everything, everyone's pumping, lift up, wind down. You get customers, they don't lift and wind, they just wind and grind. So they get treated pretty tough. But these things, these Shimano Stellas and the Twin Powers and the Stellas, are built tough and they're built for it.
You don't see many charter operators running such high quality sort of tackle on charters. You usually see bait runners and sort of the entry level gear. Why do you run such sort of top end stuff?
Well, if you're planning for a service, you want the best. And so if you're paying good money, you want to be using good gear. And so really, people that are going out, yeah, bait runners and things will do the job, but you want to be using a nice smooth reel, a good rod, and you want to have the power there when you do hook a big fish. So as the bait catching this morning, we're on Stratic 4000s, which we've got them on Raider rods, 7-foot Raider rods at the moment, and perfect. They're an all-rounder. We can use them for catching yakkers, we can use them for casting for squid, and then when the dolphin fish start, we can use them for live baiting for dolphin fish. We have them spooled up with 20-pound braid, and then we have 20-pound leader, and then we start to work up, and then we might go to a Stratic 6000, which then we sort of use them mainly for our smaller sort of fish. If there's a lot of smaller fish around, sort of the 70 centimetre, 60s, 70s, they're a bit more fun on the lighter tackle. And then you might start to get a few bigger fish. So that's when you start coming up to the heavier tackle. And then you have that opportunity and that chance to land the fish of a lifetime.
The Power Pro braid was pretty much valuable today. Like, describe the sort of style of fishing we were doing out there at the 12 mile and sort of how you use the counting the colours to talk to the customers.
Well, that's right. Because it's American, it's in yards, so sort of you have to remember to convert your yards to metres. So we had fish sitting at 80 metres out there today. So we were dropping down, we're counting the colours, we're going down 11 colours, which puts you right at 80 metres. And if you can count your colours and you can remember the colours that you're counting, that's the hardest part of the day. So you try and tell people, go down 11 colours. Mate, they don't know where 11, 12, they lose the colour halfway down. But when they get it right, it's perfect. You stop, it's only a matter of seconds and you're hooked up. From ringing you, it was like, right, let's get down here. 5:30 in the morning, we were on the boat, we were out, sun's coming up. Took a little bit to catch a bait this morning, but we finally got there after about an hour or so of many moves, looking at the sounders, dropping. Then we ended up with a tank full of yakkers. We had a couple of slimies. Didn't need the squid because I knew that they weren't eating squid out there. And then we headed out to the 12 mile, used our sounders again, looked for the bait schools, found the fish sitting on top of the bait schools, and then dropped down that 80 metres to where they were sitting. We got 15 odd fish. Best one of the day was 96 centimetres. Dane's just caught a new personal best, which is at 96 centimetres off Sydney. We've put a tag in him. He was caught on a brand new Stella, and he will be going back to fight another day, and hopefully we can get some tag data from this fish. Okay, so what we do, if we cover the fish's eyes, he'll stay nice and calm with the rag. We get this little tag, it's like a little needle with the tag inside, and it goes in next to this fin on an angle so that locks in behind the fin bones. So it just goes in and out. And then that tag is secured in the fish. There's no blood, the fish didn't jump, the fish didn't feel it, and that can be there for years and years to come. And the research that fisheries get from the tagging program is second to none. Offshore we're fishing in 120 metres or 100 metres. So we're fishing, the fish was sitting at 80 metres of depth. So we're dropping big sinkers, bombing our baits down to the right depth. And then it's just a matter of sitting there and waiting and waiting. We started off, it was a little bit slow for the first hour, and then it started to pick right up, and there was double hookups and things like that. One of the worst things you can do with the kingfish is actually strike at the fish. So you just let the rod load up, and just as a nice smooth, keep bending the rod, keep pressure on the line, and just keep working them up. Then we come in and we down rig the cliffs. So this time of the year, the water's starting to warm up and the fish are pushing in, and they're going to come in and fish on the cliffs really well. So for the next 6 months, everything now will be in up against the cliffs. You still will get your fish out on the deeper reefs, but they'll sort of come in feeding, eating more squid, more slimies, more garfish. Garfish is a great bait. Shh, don't tell anyone. So the kingfish were a little bit slow today inside on the cliffs, but the salmon, there was plenty of them. And back you go.
What's it like being a local celebrity out there at 12 mile?
Yeah, over a period of time, so 10 years, you get to know everyone. And it's always the same faces that are out there. There's a few charter boats out there, a few recreational guys. As we've seen Rod Finlay, he was out there today. You know, a heap of other charter boats and a few other friends. So yeah, it's good.
Why should someone book with you instead of the other 8 charter boats that are out there at 12 mile today?
We're the best. We're the best.